Jack Ebling here with Dan Kilbridge from Breslin Center, Full Court Press for 24/7 Sports and Spartan Tailgate. Somber environment here, Dan. I don't think too many people expected Michigan State to lose this one by 20, but they were dominated pretty much from start to finish.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be a tough game, but I don't think anyone thought it would be this tough on the Spartans. I mean, they played kind of the way they did for that Minnesota game for most of it. They looked like the same team, just kind of lost on offense, got to do everything through Kalin Lucas, but you know, you're not going to win having Kalin Lucas score almost twice as many points as the rest of your teammates, which he did today. I mean, there just wasn't enough help on the offensive end for Kalin Lucas, and the play suffered as a result.
The worst home loss since the Duke game in 2003, and the first time Michigan State has lost 3 home games in a year since 1998. So you've got to go back 13 years since that happened, and that was before the glory years with Tom Izzo. So that was just when the program was building, and there's a lot of building that needs to be done. JaJuan Jackson, absolutely phenomenal today. Don't know how much resistance he had, but 20 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 block shots. Michigan State pretty much a one-man operation. Kalin Lucas with 23 points, and whoever thought Mike Keebler would be the #2 option.
Yeah, it's not good. No offense to Keeler, but that's not what you're looking for on offense. And you know, Draymond Green, he had 7 points, but he was 3 of 12 from the field. I mean, he really struggled to find his shot. Like you said, Johnson was just too much. He was hitting that fadeaway all day. They really didn't have an answer for that. JaJuan Moore, I thought, gained some good penetration. He was pretty impressive. He finished with 17 points.
So it's Jackson at 16. So between the two of them, they had enough to complement JaJuan Johnson. But Michigan State shooting 33.3% from the field, just 1 for 11 from three-point range. They were outscored by 18 points beyond the arc, and that's pretty much the end of the game. If you cannot shoot the ball at this level, when you're trying to beat a top 10 team, you have no chance.
Yeah, and I think there was, there was some of that pretty boy jump shooting team today, but there wasn't anything pretty about it. It was just a pretty ugly performance and a rough go for the Spartans today at Breslin.
Michigan State unable to hit from long range, but also unable to hit from short range. Missed an awful lot of layups, a lot of unforced turnovers. Just exactly the kind of performance Michigan State could not have if it was hoping to impress the NCAA selection committee. And there are losses, and then there are losses. And this was one that did not pass the eyeball test by any sense of the imagination. Michigan State may still need to win 2 basketball games to get into the tournament. They have a payback opportunity with Iowa coming in here. You would think for senior night they will be motivated for that. Then they go on the road. Michigan will have had an entire week off. That's going to be a difficult game when Michigan's shooting well. Can play with anyone in the country, as Ohio State and Kansas can attest. Also, Wisconsin the other night, it took a banked 3-pointer at the buzzer to win. So Michigan, a very dangerous team right now. If Michigan State does not win that game, then they're going to have to do something in the Big Ten tournament. I don't know if 17 is good enough to get in.
Yeah, I think they have to get to 18 in order to feel safe going into that Big Ten tournament, and you don't want to put a ton of pressure on yourself and make the tournament all about how well you play in the Big Ten, because we've seen Michigan State hasn't had that much success there in the past couple of years. So I think they really need to get these 2 wins to feel safe going into Selection Sunday.
JaJuan Johnson certainly making his case for Big Ten Player of the Year. We see Jared Sullinger. We, of course, got a pretty good look at Taylor from Wisconsin and what he has done, some of his heroics. But JaJuan Johnson, just such an impossible matchup for his Michigan State.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, they just don't have an answer for him. I think you're right. I think he will be the Big Ten Player of the Year. He's pretty impressive, and he's going to go on to a long pro career as well.
Yeah, you see the things that Purdue can do, and you wonder how good this team would be with Robbie Hummel. I thought it would be the #1 team in the nation, and I would stick with that. But Michigan State has a lot of work to do, and the first thing they need to do is make a couple of shots.
It's tough. You can't force that. I mean, it's something that you can't really coach. It's just got to happen. Got to get back at it and try to stay positive here down the stretch.
Well, what works in some games against Indiana and Minnesota probably not going to work against this Purdue team. Our final score today, Purdue 67, Michigan State 47. For Dan Kilbridge, Jack Ebling from Breslin Center for 24/7 Sports.